Hi. In a recent talk about corporate culture, I referred to research by Andre Spicer and Mats Alverson about what they call the stupidity paradox. I'd like to return to this topic today, and indeed more research by Spicer. This time about the lengths companies go to make their employees happy and positive about their work and their workplace. You may be aware of some of the things that companies provide for their staff. I'll just list a few examples for you. Number one, Google in Zurich has slides of the type you might find on a children's playground between floors so that staff can slide down to the third floor rather than taking the stairs or the lift. The flight and travel company Expedia have created an office space that you might be forgiven for thinking was more like a nightclub. It also has games consoles and a Formula One car racing game, a well-stocked bar, like you'd expect in a nightclub, and a roof terrace which is used for barbecues and parties. It even has an automated trolley to carry cake and things to the staff. Expedia, maybe not surprisingly, was voted the number one place to work in the UK in 2016. Things like table football, ping pong tables, they're all fairly common in many workplaces nowadays. Designing office spaces to look like pirate ships, large boots, or even tree houses is an idea that's becoming more popular. And we have to ask ourselves why. Well, the management theory is that a happy workforce is a productive workforce. If the company provides the best environment to work in, that company will attract and retain the best staff. And if you keep the best staff happy, you'll see that productivity increases, or at least that's the management theory. And this is quite serious stuff. Companies even hire senior managers with job titles like Chief Happiness Officer. They employ consultants with snazzy titles like Funsultants, and their jobs are to make the workplaces the kind of places that staff want to be in, and more importantly, to stay in. Now, when I say stay in, I mean both stay at work for a long time in terms of years, but more importantly, to stay for longer hours each day, because that obviously makes you more productive. Going back to this management theory that a happy staff is a productive staff, it seems to make good sense, doesn't it? Past research has tended to underestimate the importance of happiness at work, according to Fisher in 2010. This research by Fisher, who's from the Bond University in Australia, concludes that, and I'll quote from the paper, "There is reason to think that improving happiness at work is a worthy goal. Evidence suggests that the happy, productive worker hypothesis may be more true than we thought. Individuals are indeed happier than usual when they believe they are performing better than usual. Evidence shows that happiness-related constructs, such as job satisfaction, engagement, and effective commitment, have important consequences for both individuals and organisations. Happiness at the person and group level is related to performance, customer satisfaction, safety, attendance, and retention." End quote. So, Fisher clearly is positive about this idea of providing a happy and positive experience at work. However, research from Silvestro back in 2002 suggests otherwise. Silvestro studied the profitability of a large supermarket chain in the UK. He found that, contrary to popular belief, the most profitable stores were those in which employees were least satisfied. He also found that staff longevity of service was also not a predictor of productivity. Now, a third set of researchers, Alex Bryson and George McKerran at the London School of Economics, suggest that work is almost, but not quite, the last place in the world where people want to be. They found that doing the job you're paid to do is the lowest ranked activity from a list of 39 activities. The only exception is being sick in bed. At the top of the list, so the activity most liked, was making love. The next few highest places were taken up by activities that we typically do in our free time, like going to the theatre, concerts, doing sports, visiting places of interest like museums and galleries, socialising, chatting with friends. Down at the bottom of the list, so the least liked, were activities like commuting, sitting in meetings, organising personal finance, and waiting or queuing, along with, as I said, working. Bryson and McKerran conducted this research through analysis of data sent by participants to an app called Mappiness. In their conclusion, the authors say that, and I'll quote again from the paper, even though people are positive about paid work when reflecting on the meaning and value of their lives, actually engaging in paid work comes at some personal cost to them in terms of the pressures and stress they face while working. This suggestion is supported by previous research, which shows that the workers' happiness varies markedly according to whether or not they feel pressure to work quickly. End quote. Thus, it seems that working to tight deadlines makes people unhappy at work. I mentioned Spicer at the start of the talk. Spicer does accept that some jobs, particularly customer-facing jobs, like sales assistants, customer service jobs and the like, do require a happy staff. But on a wider scale, this obsession with happiness and positivity can backfire spectacularly. Vuori and Hoy in 2015 published a paper detailing the demise of the mobile phone manufacturer Nokia. Now, Nokia, back in the days before the iPhone and Samsung Galaxy, was the largest and most successful mobile phone company. Everyone seemed to have a Nokia. And basically, the demise of the company boiled down to this. The company had a big push on positivity at work. Middle managers at the firm were apparently afraid of telling senior managers that the new smartphone system that they were working on, called Symbian, was, well, just a bit rubbish. These middle managers were afraid of sounding too negative. Now, this problem led to the top managers not knowing about the problems that the new operating system was facing. And by the time the company bosses realised that their smartphones were not that great, the iPhone and Samsung had already cornered the market. So, what can we conclude then? Well, I think that when companies try to force happiness and force positivity upon their employees, the result may not be quite what the company expects. Employees are happiest at work when they can get on with their jobs and make progress on the tasks they are performing. Now, to do that, it means not burdening staff with meaningless tasks like completing satisfaction questionnaires and responding to endless email and things like that. So by all means, install a slide in the office from the 4th floor to the 3rd floor, but don't be upset if people don't use it. Thank you very much.